Before we start, we'd like to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd all rise, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. The following matters will come before the Revere License Commission today at our regularly scheduled meeting. The first order of business will be the approval of minutes of the February 20th, 2019 meeting. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second the motion.
The minutes are approved. The next order of business are applications submitted for consideration. Item number 1, the Joseph Leon Matolo Post 4524, VFW US Inc., 61 Lucia Avenue, first story. Daniel Zwicker is the manager. Is there anybody here to speak on behalf of Matolo Post?
Yes, Dan Zwicker, 235 Revere Street, Revere, Massachusetts.
Very good, sir. And what are your,
What we're looking
Applying
for
for
is to
your-
change the hours by 1 hour to put it in compliance with the other clubs in Boston, in Revere. Not extending the hours at night, just in the morning.
okay, I see from your application that you want to open an hour earlier.
That is correct.
Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
I have no questions at this time. I'd just like to see if there's anyone opposed to it.
Well, I just want to question, what is the purpose of opening an hour early?
Wait a minute, my bar manager will explain that if you'd like.
Sure.
Okay, excuse me.
Hi, my name is Peter Wall, 7 Hutchinson Street. And the reason we need the bar open earlier is because we've got competition from other private clubs and commercial establishments that do open at 8 o'clock in the morning. And they open at 10 o'clock on Sundays. And this was put us in basically level playing field with us, or for us. Even if we have one customer, it's still worth it to us, because then other people will come in. We do serve food. So,
So when you say competition, from other function halls or
other
similar establishments? or-
Still, like the Moose, the Sons of Italy, the other VFW in Revere, American Legions, the Patriot Club. Some of them, they have opening hours that are a little earlier than we are.
So let me understand, so at 8 a.m., the reason, the rationale is that they'll come in for a drink that early?
We have people who work overnights, and they come in after work, overnights, they come in, have one drink, and then they go home, because they're gonna sleep for the day and go back to work late afternoon.
Interesting, okay.
Thank you very much, sir. I will close that section of the meeting. Are there any proponents out there? Is there anybody else who would like to speak on behalf of this? Anybody in favor? Seeing and hearing none, I will close that section. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed to this? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that section of the meeting.
Okay, I understand. I do know some of the clubs that do open early, but of course, this would only be for coffee or the breakfast that you have in the morning.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah,
That is
your
correct.
liquor license does not start at 8 o'clock.
No, it doesn't.
No, it would stay the same. Only thing, the hour earlier is for that breakfast 1 or 2 people may come for earlier.
I thought we were trying to change the liquor license itself to go to that earlier hour.
To go to 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock on the weekdays and 10 o'clock on Sundays.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted to do alcohol at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't know, do our other clubs serve alcohol at 8? It's kind of, I thought it was for the early breakfast. I agree with you. I know the Sons of Italy and the Patriots clubs do have it, but I didn't know that the alcohol was that early also.
From my understanding, it is.
Yeah, I didn't know that they served it, though. That was the thing. They do, people do come in that early.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, I don't really have an issue with it. So, I mean, I would make a motion to approve this. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
The motion is approved. The application for a change of hours of the Joseph Leon Matola Post, 4524 VFW US, Inc., for a change of hours to Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 a.m., Sunday, 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. Current hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 a.m., and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. So that application for the 1 hour is approved. Thank you very much. Item number 2, this is Suntornut, Inc., DBA Rice Passion, 163 Squire Road. Teradate Suntornut is the manager. This is an application for a change of manager. The application of Suntornut, Inc., DBA Rice Passion, to change the manager to Teradate Suntornut from Piyawanan Thamaranthon. Sorry if I mispronounced your name.
My name is,
And speaking on behalf of the application, your name and address for the record, please?
yes, my name is Theodore Suntanat, 58 Maple Street in Malden, Massachusetts.
Very good. And what are your plans for this
We,
location?
well, the location is still there, but we would like to change the manager because our current manager will be leaving soon. So
Very good. And are you planning any changes for the business, or is the business going to be remain the same?
everything will remain the same.
And you're going to be the new manager?
Yes,
And you worked at Simillions?
I used to work there. Yes,
Is that the one in Cambridge on First Street?
yes.
And do you have experience with liquor service?
Yes.
What is that?
Well, I was a server on that restaurant, which is served full alcohol liquors too.
Okay.
And I help our staff at Rice Passion serving the alcohol as well.
Very good. Thank you. Are there any questions from my fellow commissioners?
So who will be serving the alcohol? You'll be at the bar?
No, I'm just a manager. We'll be bartender and a waitress serving the alcohol at the restaurant.
Are they tip certified?
They do, yes.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So this restaurant, it's, what are your hours of operation now? What are the hours?
The weekend start at 11:30 until 9:30, and Friday and the weekend is start at noon until 10.
12 to 10 on the weekends, correct?
Yes, Sunday is 9:30.
Is it a full-service bar?
It is.
All right. And you said your tips, you're the manager?
Yes.
Okay. And everybody else is the same, the bartenders, they're all, nothing else is changing?
No.
And you're going to be there all the time?
Yeah.
Okay,
Unfortunately, yes.
okay, okay. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We'll close this section of the meeting. We will now hear from any other proponents. Is there anybody that would like to speak on behalf of this? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that section. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed to this? Hearing and seeing none, I'll close that section of the meeting. We'll open up for the debate.
Well, one quick, Officer Randall, have there been any issues at that establishment from your experience, or?
At the Rice Passions?
Yeah,
No, I can't think of any off the top of my
okay,
head.
thank you.
Okay, very good. Well, I will propose that we approve this motion. Is there a second on this?
I'm going to second the motion since I don't have any background on the new manager, other than he has experience and he's not going to be managing the bar. And everything's going to be as is, so I'll second the motion.
The motion is approved. The application for a change of manager of Sunternut Inc., DBA Rice Passion, a change to Teradate Sunternut from Piwa One Thumb Marathon is approved. Thank you very much, sir. Item number 3, Blanchard's Revere Inc., 286 American Legion Highway. Bridget Hurd is the manager. This is an application for a change of officer. Transfer of stock and change of manager to Bridget Hurd from Adam Selu. Speaking on behalf of the applicant, may I have your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Rashi Monglick with McDermott, Quilty and Miller, representing the applicant. And with me is Bridget Hurd. She is the proposed manager of record for this location. We're here today seeking your approval for a change of officers, a transfer of stock, and a change of manager of record. There are no changes to the operations, any hours, anything like that. Those all remain the same. On the officers, as you know, the Corey family has owned several Blanchard's locations for several years, decades. It's been in the family. And Donald Corey, the eldest, he wishes to retire, so he's coming off as president, and Marcia Corey is coming on. John Corey will no longer be a director, and Christine Elder will be treasurer.
Thank you, Counselor. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
Is the person transferring to Adam Selu, is he here?
No, he's not here.
Because,
I didn't think he needed to be. I mean,
Okay.
if you have any questions for him, we might be able to reach him, but
we just,
he's usually,
okay. No, because it's always nice to have the transferring person present, because we assume everything's on the up and up, but if the person's not here, we kind of have to take your word for it, or whatever paperwork we have. Just wasn't asking if that was, but you just weren't aware that he should be here, recommended.
right. In other experience I've had, only the proposed manager is required to be
Okay.
here.
Thank you.
Any other questions? We don't have any other questions. We'll close this section of the meeting. Are there any proponents out there? Anybody else want to speak on behalf of this transfer? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close that section. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed? Seeing and hearing none, we'll close that section of the meeting. Is there a motion on this matter?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
The motion is approved for an application of change of officers, transfer of stock, and change of manager. The application of Blanchard's Inc. for a change of officers, transfer of stock, and change of manager to Bridget Hurd from Adam Selu is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item number 4, Lee Round and Seraphan Chorong. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. This is Four Seasons Boba Tea, 196 Shirley Avenue. Lee Roan is the manager. It's an application for a common victualer's license.
Yes, correct.
So the application is for DBA Four Seasons Boba Tea, 196 Shirley Avenue, and you're looking for a common victualer's license to be exercised at the same location. Your requested hours of operation are Sunday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yes,
The
correct.
requested seating is 10.
Yes, correct.
And can you explain to us like what you'd like to do at this location, please?
We just like selling beverages and snacks, and that's it.
Very good. And have you had prior experience in the food service business?
My wife has.
And where was that?
It's in Lynn. It's boba tea on City Hall Square.
Is it the same business, or is
It's
it?
it's the same business, but it's a different name.
I'm sorry?
It's the same business, but it's a different name.
Okay.
It's owned by someone else.
Very good.
Okay.
Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
Okay, you say it's just for snacks and drinks? You're not going to serve anything else because you have for seating down here?
Yeah, that's all we're gonna serve. Just dessert and snacks, and those drinks, the boba tea drinks.
I mean, coffee and pastry, is that more of what you're going to serve? I'm
no.
kind of thinking snacks are like little bags of
Yeah,
potato chips and
and some dessert.
some dessert.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just a little confused as to the food menu.
So you have a cake display center here?
Okay, so it would be more of a pastry, coffee
Yeah,
type
yeah,
of
something
thing?
like that,
Okay.
yes.
See, I think snacks like chips and popcorn, and I'm on a different thing. So it'll be a little coffee shop
Yeah.
where you can go have something to drink and a piece of pastry.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, you just knows the seating, that's the only reason I was asking.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions.
Yeah, that was kind of my question. Pastries, like, if I were you, I'd want to sell myself. You know, you're on TV here, so I would promote myself a little better than that.
Yeah.
This looks like you're gonna have a restaurant and prime, huh? No, fine with you, but pastries and snacks is very vague, but beverages and snacks, I should say.
Yeah.
But looks like a nice setup.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure, you know, if you're going to expand beyond that. But that was my question, more of the same as Councilor Guanasso, Commissioner Guanasso, sorry. Anyway, I have no other questions.
Very good. Thank you very much, sir. We'll close this section of the meeting. Are there any any proponents? Anybody out there would like to speak on behalf of this, this application? Hearing and seeing none, I'll close that section. Are there any opponents? Anybody opposed to this? I don't hear or see anyone, so we'll close that section of the meeting. Is there a motion to act on this? Are there additional questions that we need to ask?
I have no other questions.
Very good.
I have no other questions.
Very good. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the application.
Yeah, I'll second the motion. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Very good. The application is approved. The application for a common victualer's license for Lee Rowan and Sarah Pancheroon, DBA Four Seasons Boba Tea, 196 Shirley Avenue, for a common victualer's license to be exercised at that location with the requested hours of Sunday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., with a requested seating of 10. That application is approved. Item number 5, Dairy Mart Liquor, Inc., DBA Dairy Mart Liquor, 160 Squire Road. Kevin F. Lang is the manager. This is an application for a change of seating. the application of Dairy Mart Liquor, Inc., 160 Squire Road for a change of seating to seat 8 at 3 tables. Current seating is 0. Your name and address for the record, please, sir?
My name is Kevin Lang, and I'm living at 280 Paradise Road in Swampscott.
Very good. And what are your plans for the seating? Why do you want seating in a liquor store?
The seating is very simple for mostly we plan our location have keynote player, and most of our keynote players are senior citizen and a couple of handicapped person that come in there. So we like to have a chair for them so they can sit, relax, hope they spend more money to buy some keynote, and then we offer some coffee for them also if they need it.
Sounds reasonable to me. Any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
Well, I think the question that came up was that I'm a little confused with this business right now, although I was on the commission when you first received this package store license. At the time, I know you weren't the owner at the time, but at the time, that was supposed to be a milk and bread store, which it was for many years. Then, to the best of my recollection, it was, I think 25% of the store would be, we would transfer a package store license, and only 25% of that store was supposed to be used for alcohol. Then for some reason, it seems as though it's been expanding its alcohol larger than your milk and bread store. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you have bread in there anymore, to be honest with you. It seems to have turned into a package store, which wasn't the way the license was originally granted. If it is a package store, I believe that the law does not allow seating in package stores for any reason, whether it be food, whether it be keno. I'm very familiar, and you know, you guys do a great job. You've been keeping it very well maintained recently, which I'm happy about. But I'm not too sure that this can be voted on, and I'm not sure that the license is being used the way it was originally transferred. So I was trying to get some more information on that and go back, but I think at this point, I don't think, because it's, right now, I would say it's 95% alcohol. Would you agree with that?
Not quite 90%. We have about, you could say 75%.
75,
Yes.
they're a little, okay, I
At
think
the
it's a little more than that.
At the
But it's
time,
become a package store, it's not what the license originally was. Adding a package store to, which we've done even recently, they have just so many square feet that you could put that package store. So I'm a little confused as to what this business is right now. It's either a milk and bread or it's a package store license, which we originally denied as it being a full package store license.
we still do have all the convenient product, but it is not a full-blown, because to our knowledge around the area, since market basket come, we lose more and more. And as we keep order the bread and milk, we can stock all the bread and milk, but those products expire, so we throw most of them away.
Oh, well, I'm not asking that you do that, honestly. I prefer not to have a package store there, so that is not what I'm asking. I just think my vote today, to me, it looks like a package store right now. And if it's a package store, I don't think you're allowed to have seating and food served in a package store.
There's no food served there. Mostly we offer free coffee for our customer that came there, like almost
So
like
they can sit at the table and drink, right?
have a cup of coffee.
Oh, a
and
cup of
then
coffee.
Pretty much no drink involved.
No
We
drinking.
watch, yeah, or we very strict on that. We let a lot of people out because of, we found out that a little suspicious that they might add something to the coffee.
Right.
So the person that come in the point that we recognize that he might be doing that, we have them stay out. Most, 95%, we'll let them go. Quite a bit, we have about 10 of them still hold grudge on me. So why you didn't let me come in? Well, because you do such a thing wrong, so will be not matching to the location that we have. So they're still mad at me as of now. because
Right.
we don't let them in.
Right. Well, that honestly is a huge violation of your license, should they be buying nips, and as you said,
Yes,
you know
it's
there's a few.
very strict on
Putting
that.
in their coffee, that's,
We're too strict on those. And plus, I just want to bring to the board member to recognize the location. I know it's about 25% of the grocery, 75% of the liquor, but we have the lottery business there. Almost, we're doing $10 million per year, just that location, compared to $1.5 million on liquor, which is way beyond the liquor comparison to it. But the way the display, we have a display, but we don't do that much sale there. That that location, you can't. Plus, you can't compete with Blanchard's down the street. We are so small, we don't have room to stock, so we pretty much buy a case in case. We have the product, but we wouldn't sell. We do mostly lottery and then 25% of the convenient product. Lottery, we do $10 million a year, that location.
yes, I think it was in the paper that it's one of the largest
The largest
selling
one.
tickets in the state is at your location.
Yeah. Plus, we pay out a lot too. Our customer really happy
Right.
to
But
come
I think
there.
the issue here, we're talking about seating in a package store.
Yeah.
No, I didn't today, sorry. Oh, yeah, today's the Powerball, I guess. I don't know, I don't play the lottery.
But we'd like to ask the board to consider that, so just to help out the mostly elderly and a couple of handicapped people.
Well, I come in there, I do
Yeah.
come in your shop,
Yes.
okay? It's not all elderly. Okay.
But
A
there's
lot of
some-
young people that go in there.
Most young people, they stand. They don't like to sit down. But most elderly, we feel bad for them lately. They say, well, what can we do to get your chair back? I said, well, let me go talk to the commission first and see what to be considered. And if you like to have them come here, we can ask them to come here and talk for us.
Well, I just think my problem right now is it legal to give out the seating in a package store? I guess that's my question. And until I hear from the ABCC, it's very hard. I have one other issue, that if the seating were to go through,
Right.
there should be no children sitting there with their parents playing Keno.
With their, okay, we'll consider that.
That should
No
not be
problem.
allowed. Children shouldn't have to sit in an establishment while they're,
We have
people
probably
playing.
one or two of them. We still consider what happened that day, why she bring the children there. Could
Yeah.
be spring vacation, but we can limit it at no children
Well, I
there,
wouldn't want to
which is
see
no
children there, and I don't think it's a good environment for children to be in. And as I say, you're 50/50, you're a package store. Well, if you're saying you're a package store, full package store, then children shouldn't be allowed in there.
It's
Okay?
true,
And they
yes.
shouldn't be sitting there.
We can just let them stay out. Every one of them come with children, we can just limit, you
Well-
can't come in.
I would appreciate that. I'm
no
just
problem.
asking as a favor that children not be allowed to sit at those
Yeah,
tables,
no
should it be
problem with
approved.
that. Well, I'll be happy to do that. And plus, I can limit, we have a signs over there. Plus, a lot of time, we can have the parent not to bring the children in. But if they come for meals and stuff like, we can provide a full service for them to bring it to them if they need help. So they don't have to send their kid down. Most of them, they send their kid down. We can limit that, no kids allowed.
Well,
no
kids shouldn't be playing lottery anyways, even if their
No.
parents send them.
They don't.
This
They-
is getting
Mostly
worse.
they come for meals and bread, so that's pretty much about. If we can limit it to no children, it's no problem. But we just want to ask the board to consider chair for our elderly people.
So I actually do go in there a lot, pick up my Wall Street in the morning when my subscription runs out. But I met Mr. Lang many times, wonderful gentleman, stand-up guy, very professional and well-mannered, and I never noticed any issues there. I did notice there is a good number of people that do frequent there and hang out there to play Keno, and they're an older crowd. And it would be nice to have that ability to sit down and play the Keno and what have you. I get all that. But, Commissioner Guanasso mentioned the important thing about, is it a package store, is it a convenience store. It's kind of transformed into more of a package store. And by law, it might not allow us to even approve the seating. To me, if the law does allow the seating, I don't have a problem with having the 8 seats. I think it's good for the elderly who, it's difficult to stand at some of their ages. So I guess the question, Commissioner, how do we find out if it's allowed?
I think the problem is they probably have to tell us how much of the business is actually alcohol and what part is a milk and bread store, which it was supposed to be 75% the other way. They've now gone 75% alcohol. Originally, it was 75% milk and bread. Okay, so now they're going 75 package store. Okay, package stores don't allow seating for Keno.
They do not.
If a place like Blanchard's or someone would come and want seating in the liquor store, they couldn't get it. They can't get Keno.
So we can't even vote on it. If that's
Well, I'm trying to get from the owner. I mean, he's saying he's got 75% alcohol, so I would have to say it's a package store. You know.
Okay, very good. We'll close this section of the meeting. Are there any proponents? Anybody else want to speak on behalf of this? Seeing and hearing none, we'll close that section. Any opponents? Anybody opposed to it? I don't see or hear any. We'll close that section. So here's the problem. I mean, I don't think any of us really have a fundamental problem with seating in your store. Where the problem comes is whether or not your store is a liquor store or is it a convenience store. Because according to the regulations of the License Commission, there can't be seating in a liquor store. I mean, that's one of the regulations that we have at the License Commission. So I'm not sure how that gets resolved. What is it?
I think the resolution is that it has to be at least 60% convenience store, maybe 40% alcohol, which would cover the license. Well, it matters on his license. His license actually states, well, he put Dairy Mart Liquor is what he has on there. So, he's clearly saying that's a package store, which that was not the name when you bought it. It was the Dairy Mart. Liquor was added a few years ago, and plus the sign put up, the new billboard they put up, which was spirits, wine and spirits, I think they changed it to. But the original license was Dairy Mart. So things have changed. Every year, it seems like they just change the name. I don't even know that we legally got a change on that. So I just think the only answer here is you're either a package store, which does not allow seating, or you're a convenience store, which you may be able to get seating, okay? So you would have to bring that down to at least 60% convenience store, 40% alcohol.
Does the lottery consider convenient also?
Excuse me?
Does the lottery consider convenient also?
Lotteries, you can have,
Right.
yes, like we have them
No.
in the Little Peach, we have them in many. We don't have them in liquor stores, no package stores.
What I'm trying to say is the volume of sale between the convenient and the lottery is exceed the liquor. The liquor do 1.5 million sale a year. The lottery and convenient do 10 million.
Well, I agree with your particular business, but this isn't the board's law, this is a state law. It's not, I mean, if any package store come up and ask for a tables, Keno in a package store, we couldn't give it. So you would have to make your own decision here, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not speaking for my colleagues. You would have to make a decision of.
He's asking, Commissioner, is it based on the percentage of sales, whether it's 60/40 or what's the 60/40?
60/40 is the store.
The physical,
Thank
okay, the physical build-out.
As we just did in the Beachmont store, if you
Okay.
remember, they could only use certain amount for the package store, the rest should be convenience store.
Okay, so it's by how much of the square footage is
2,800.
liquor, how much is lottery space, I guess, and how much is bread and milk?
Lottery place, we have about 1,000 square foot for lottery. And then we have 1,200 on the liquor on the back, and the rest is all convenient. We have 2 row of convenient product.
Yes, you only have 2 rows, but all your chest around the whole store is alcohol.
The back, no, the back is,
And the 3 aisles. But that doesn't make a difference as to how much you're selling. That makes no difference at all. It's what your license is.
yeah, but I'm trying to say is the area of the cooler out back, I have 7 door of the cooler, that take about 200 square foot, mostly sodas and milks and all those in there. And then we have 2 row of the convenient product on the front, which is at the beginning of the application, the board asked me to bring all the convenient to the front, which is still there. We didn't change any of those.
How many,
Well, you have liquor first, then you have your convenience. Liquor's
Liquor on the
half one
back.
aisle.
Yeah,
Right.
still,
And cases of beer right there. When you walk in, even on the left you have them. I've been in there.
so we could eliminate to the left and leave the front for the
Well,
convenient.
I don't think, you know, not to keep going over it, I don't think it's really your choice. You're either a package store or you're a convenience store. If you're a package store, you can't have Keno and tables. If you're a convenience store, you can. I think it's that simple. I don't know where there's any compromising it.
So what I'm trying to say, how about the Joe's Liquor? They have the same product as we have it, as the Broadway Convenient, they have the same thing.
Joe's Liquor has, I would say, 80% convenience. Convenience
20%
store.
liquor.
Absolutely. I've gone in there also, and it's all convenient. They
We-
sell a lot of food. Most of their chest are drinks, not alcohol.
We can reduce all the alcohol if the board requests that. We'd be happy to reduce all of it because it doesn't make any sale. Our goal is to get our lottery sale more than the liquor now.
Well, there's your answer. You've got to
Yes.
cut down to at least 30-40%
Yes, that
of
could be
alcohol.
done. No problem with
Then
that.
I would consider it a convenience store.
We can
So I
do it
think
right
your
away.
wording on your license saying liquor is not right. It should be Dairy Mart,
Right.
okay? Then we could allow that if, in fact, you're only using no more than 30-40% for alcohol.
Right.
The rest would be a convenience store, and then the board could vote
There's no problem
on a
with that.
Keno and table.
But I'm going back to the name was the Dairy Mart Liquor Inc. is the corporation.
Right.
But we
that's
still
the-
have Dairy Mart.
Right.
Same thing, doesn't
That's,
change.
but on here, where I see Dairy Mart Liquors, it should be Dairy Mart.
And at the time, I think the board asked us to change it to wine and spirit, which is, we did that on the billboard, but we didn't change it at the form.
I don't think this board did that. I think you went before the city council for approval to put up a new billboard. We don't do billboards.
Yes, but the council asked us to change the name to wine and spirit, that's why we have wine and spirit on the billboard. We don't have liquor wood on that one.
Yeah. Well, personally, I'd like to see a little convenience store there. I think you'd do very well.
No problem.
But you will have to cut back quite a
Yeah.
bit on the
No-
alcohol.
No problem with it at all, because we are concentrate mostly right now, we just had it, but we like to have a lottery customer more than anything else.
More than the alcohol.
More, $10 million a year, you can't go wrong with a $10 million sale.
I-
We pretty much just give liquors away without, here, you can have this, but just buy a lottery for $10 million. We figured out $10 million, our town could get some kickback, pretty good sign too.
I have no problem with
Yeah.
what you're saying. I actually
Yeah,
like the
we can do
convenience
that.
store better.
Yeah,
So I have no problem with it. I have no problem with the seating.
we'll cut
But-
down all the liquor and then just leave
You don't have
convenience
to cut
60%.
down all the liquor. You still have a
Yeah.
package store license, but you can only use a certain amount of footage if we
Yes.
can go back to the original license as to what it was supposed to be.
We can do that, to eliminate all the liquor, combine, push it back to the back
And
to a
that's
40.
originally how it was before you bought it. You've only had it a couple of years.
We have it for 5 years.
Oh, was it 5
Yeah,
years
5
already?
year went
Well, the
through.
people before you had it way down the back, so it was confined there. And they did a very big lottery also. So they were more concerned with the lottery.
They
there.
wasn't doing as much as we do. We do double what they do on lottery.
Well, that's good. I'm happy for you.
Yes, but if you ask the clientele around the town, they'd rather come to Dairy Mart than other place. We got a good reputation on that. We took care of 99% of them, except the bad one that will leave them outside, which is they still get mad at us. Once in a while, they come and break the window. But
Yeah.
there's nothing we can do on that, just keep fixing it. We try our best to keep them happy, but the bad one will never happy no matter what you're doing. If I try to compromise him, then I go against the board, go against the license, which is not gonna be good. But it's hard, but we're gonna keep trying to please everybody.
Well, I
If the
don't think
board allow
anybody-
us.
I don't think anyone's questioning how you're running the store. You're doing a good job there. And, you know, we're glad you're in our city. But you have to give us something that we can vote on, at least for myself.
will.
I'm speaking for myself.
Okay.
You know, I would love to see you go back to what the original agreement was when you bought it. 30% put your alcohol down the back, way in the back.
Yes.
The front, and if you do get the tables, I personally, I don't know that we can request that, but I'm asking as a good neighbor. The
Sure.
children are not allowed to sit in
No
there
problem.
while parents are playing King.
Yes, that definitely, we can eliminate that, no problem.
I would
They
appreciate
don't mind that, but sometimes they didn't know, so actually, we didn't know either, that children cannot come with their parent, but as we know, as of today, I can eliminate it right away. Kids cannot come. I know now, I'm going against the kid now.
Well, I don't want to cause you any more problems.
Yes, but we'll try to keep them happy outside, maybe give a couple candies in the car.
Well, they can come in the store and buy stuff. I'm just saying, I've
They
seen them
can't sit.
sitting in there at the stools,
Oh.
and they shouldn't be doing
Yeah,
that.
okay, no problem. That will be take care of it, and then we'll reduce the liquor too.
So, Mr. Lang, is it your suggestion now that you're going to reduce
Yes,
the
sir.
amount of liquor for sale? You're going to shrink down the space?
Yes, we'll move everything to the back and
Okay.
leave mostly up front, just
And
like.
so more of the floor
Commissioner.
space will be devoted to a convenience store?
Yes,
Okay, very good.
will be
well,
no
I
liquor
mean-
up front. Everything's out back and to the left side as you walk in there, to the left side only. I could do it right away. I just want to keep my elderly customers happy and, you know, hope they
Well,
live longer if they
I
could.
wouldn't have a problem voting on this motion with those provisos, as long as, you know, my fellow commissioners feel the same way. So I'm going to put in a motion to approve this based upon your word that you're going to reduce the amount of floor space devoted to alcohol, and that you're not going to allow children to be seated there during business time.
Yes, that will be right away after I'm walking out of here, we'll start right away. So,
Very good. So I would make a motion to approve the seating. Do I have a second on that?
I'll second the motion.
The motion is approved for the application for a change of seating. The application of Dairy Mart Liquors, Inc., 160 Squire Road, for a change of seating to 8 seats and 3 tables. Current seating is 0. That motion, that application is approved.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good luck.
Appreciate it. Item number 6, La Esquina del Sabor, Inc., 1 Unity Avenue, Alba Lucia Balbin, manager. This is an application for a change of hours. The application of La Esquina del Sabor, Inc., for a change of number of hours to Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. to 10:30 p.m., Friday through Sunday, 6 a.m. to 3 a.m. The current hours are 6 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. I take that that's 7 days a week?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And this is a continuation from the February meeting. Your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, good afternoon. For the record, Mr. Chairman, my name is James Cipolletta, 385 Broadway, Revere, on behalf of the licensee. Diego is here with me to answer any questions that the board and the commission may have. So this is an application to extend the hours for the common victualer's license only on the weekends. He currently closes at 10:30. He has business that goes potentially well beyond that. It's not a residential district. It's in the Beachmont business zone at Beachmont Donnelly Square. And he does not serve alcohol, does not have an alcohol license, and would want to stay open until to those extended hours only on the weekends. I don't think that there have been any issues, even during his ordinary course of operation, up until 10:30. There is one other food establishment in the Beachmont area that's open late. That has parking. I don't think that this would necessarily add to any of the parking stress, especially down there in the business district. So if any of the commissioners have any questions regarding that, in the zoning and the placement and all that, I'd be happy to answer them. If it has to do with the operation of the business and the menu and the type of clients, Diego can certainly address that.
Very good, thank you, Counselor. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions?
I would just like,
sorry.
excuse me, Commissioner. I might just a quick question before I hear the whole hearing. Exactly where is Unity? I always forget.
Interesting. Unity Ave actually is that small street, dead-end street that if you're heading east on Revere Beach Parkway and you come into Beachmont Square, Toretta's Bakery is on that corner. The street that separates Toretta's from where Diego's restaurant is Unity Avenue. I think there may be 2 or 3 houses, and at the top, there's a set of public stairs.
4 houses. You
Four
know,
houses.
stairs in Beachmont, like if you're at Beachmont Roast Beef and you look almost straight across the intersection,
Yeah.
just bear to the left a little bit and you'll see Unity.
Exactly, yeah.
For some
right in
reason,
the
I
area of
thought it was
Previties.
the
Yeah.
tracks when you're coming off Revere Beach Parkway, that little railroad track there, no?
No,
No,
Oh,
okay,
the
I'm in the
underpass,
wrong
no.
area.
Donnelly Square in Beachmont.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just not familiar with it,
Ac-
being
actu-
from
actually,
Revere
it
my
does-
whole life.
I got a quick, I'm sorry, Commissioner.
No, I was just,
So, that's kind of an extreme increase in hours, like, what's that, 4.5 hours, right?
Yes.
And how long you been there?
3 years.
And you just had epiphany that you needed to have 4.5 more hours, or was this something that took this long to figure out you needed that much more time?
My name
Open.
is Diego. This is 11770 Revere Beach Parkway. I have a lot of my customers give me ideas because they like to stay. The people come late, the last train. They go to take the seat and eat, go to home. The last train is around 12 or 1 in the morning. No place open this time. So people come to see, okay, Diego, you can.
Is it a sit-down? I mean, I don't have a brief, but is it a sit-down restaurant, or is it a takeout? Or
It's a
is
takeout, but I have 17 seats.
7?
Yeah, no, 17.
17.
But the plan is gonna cut the menu because it's a big menu. It's gonna do the fast food because it's a lot of time for my employees. It's gonna cut. I'm gonna cut it, the menu. Just put 10, 11 items in the menu. In fast food, it's gonna take too much in the business.
Are there other establishments opened at, close to that time, around there? Yeah, because,
No, I think they do.
I think,
even before that, I mean,
I think Beachmont Roast Beef may be open.
Yeah,
late.
because Beachmont definitely doesn't have any abutters, I
Right.
think. But you have a few abutters, not too many homes, but some.
Right.
So the concern I have is 2 or 3 in the morning, people get the munchies, they want to get out there. It could be a little rowdy here and there. 3 o'clock could be late, or it is late, I should say. That's my concern, 3 a.m. I mean, and I know sometimes you can't control that stuff. It's just the nature of people sometimes, feeling good in there. They need to eat something. You know how that works. I just want to hear what you have to say about a situation like that. Because if you're the only establishment open, then it's just you that's going to be responsible for those people that come and go there.
So the question, just a lot of people go to East Boston because they coming around the Orient Heights, Riviera. A lot of my customers live in Riviera, and they go to the East Boston around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning when they close the bar in East Boston and go there. You say, it's not necessary to go to East Boston when you have your place open around 2 or 3 in the morning. That's my point.
And I get why you're doing it. I mean, first, you only want to open, so that's where they would come. My concern is the residents in the area that, you know, are most likely sleeping at that time. And
Yeah, I know. I
people do make
understand.
noise, no matter what. So that would be my concern that late, even though it is the weekends, but 3 is late. So that's just a comment I'm making. It doesn't, you know, I'd like to hear from my colleagues on that point, if they have any comments.
Okay, well, I think we have the information. I will close this section, unless you'd like to add something else, Counselor, before I open the meeting to
No,
proponents,
the only one thing I would maybe put a finer point on is that it is in a business district, and I'm not sure. I can only one other establishment comes to mind in that particular district that's open, that serves food, and they do serve it rather late. The residences are not close by. They're not abutters or abutters to abutters to where Diego is, but admittedly, there are some residential uses, either in the business district or in an abutting residential district heading toward Revere Beach. But other than that, it's strictly business.
Thank you, Counselor. I will close this section of the meeting. Are there any proponents out there? Anybody that would like to speak on behalf of this application? Hearing and seeing none, I will close that section. Are there any opponents? Is there anybody opposed to this? Your name and address for the record, please.
Deputy Chief Paul Cheever. I'm the head of fire prevention in the city of Revere. My issue with the current property is back in 2016, he received his license prior to our inspection. And when we went out and did the inspection, we cited him for multiple code violations, issues with the fire alarm system, issues with the hoods. There was a permit that was issued, and there was no follow-up inspection. So that permit was never closed. So he's got an open permit from 2016. And since then, there has been no permits obtained to maintain the systems in his business. So at this time, you guys make the decision about the hours, but I would like to see it tabled until he has an opportunity to try to address these violations.
Sorry, Deputy Chief,
Yep.
what violations are we talking about here? What?
He had, I have them listed back at my office, I can provide them to you. Basically, he had things hanging from the sprinkler heads in there. His fire alarm system was missing batteries. It hadn't been tested in a long time. His hood was out of date, hadn't been cleaned. So it's your typical fire violations.
If these deficiencies were corrected, would you have a problem with the application as?
Well, my other issue is the fact that that wasn't closed, and there's been no permits obtained on a yearly basis to maintain the fire alarm system, so.
So if he were to, as I said, if he were to
Yep.
get them all permitted and all inspected,
And he got someone on contract that was going to take care of his fire alarm on a yearly basis and showed that contract and maintained in good faith, I have no issue with the property that you'll call.
very good, thank you.
Just one question. Do you find that there was a problem right now with it being open, staying open?
I'd have
Are
to
you
get down and do the
concerned?
inspection. There's so much work going on in the city right now, I can barely keep up with it. So at this point, I haven't been down there to do a re-inspection. That's the person with the license that pulled the permit's responsibility to contact my office for the final inspection after the work's done. So if that person comes to close his original permit that's been in there since November of 2016, we will have a frank discussion.
Okay, so do you think putting the batteries in, at least putting the batteries in, is some kind of a safety with him staying open?
Well, the batteries is one thing. There are multiple issues.
Yes,
that
I
we're
understand that, but I'm saying, right now, he's still open. I just want to make sure there's not, a problem that we're going to have to face down the road.
I guess we can kind of determine that once.
Continue it till next month, have you get in touch with the fire department, get things straightened out, and let us know where you are in the next month. As long as we feel that it's safe for you to be open at this time, I would be okay with continuing it till next month.
Yeah, I gotta agree with my fellow commissioner. Be difficult to approve the current proposal today, so until this stuff is taken care of with the fire inspection, and I think we should just table it till next meeting next month.
I
That's
agree.
how I feel.
Everything should be in order before the vote. I agree. And he will comply.
Come up with an update.
Yes, so I guess that you've heard from my fellow commissioners, that's what they want to do. So we're going to table this for a month. You come back at the next meeting. Hopefully, you will have met with Deputy Cheever, and we can resolve the issues related to the fire suppression system and such, and then we can discuss the hours of operation. Okay? Thank you very much.
Very well. Thank you, Mr.
Item number 7, Black Marble Motorcycle, LLC, DBA Boston Harley Davidson, 649-1 Squire Road, Heather Vieira, Event Manager. This is an application for 4 one-day licenses for malt, common victular, and entertainment. The application for 4 one-day licenses to be exercised on Saturday, March 30th, 2019, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for a service open house. Saturday, April 6th, 2019, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for a season opener shopping event. Item number 3, Saturday, April 20th, 2019, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. for an Easter weekend shopping party. And item number 4, on Saturday, June 22nd, 2019, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for a Wall of Death performance by the Rebel Hell Riders event.
You should
Name and address for the record, please.
Heather Vieira, 13 Jones Street in Everett, Massachusetts.
Very good. I'm just going to turn this over to my fellow commissioners to see what questions they have, and then we will go from there.
It's a good thing you didn't have the Wall of Death performance by Rebel Hell on Easter. That wouldn't go over well. Yeah, this organization and Miss Vieira have done a great job with. I live in the area, so familiar with these events, and there's never, from my understanding, there's never an issue, or there's very few, if any. So I really don't have much to say other than these events have been very well run, and it's a good thing for that part of the city.
Thank you.
That's all I have to say.
Very good, thank you. Well, I mean, so this is going to be basically the same operation, right? Wristband, check
Yeah.
them off, you're the bartender?
Yes.
You're totally tip certified, you're aware of what's going on here, you have security?
Yes.
I've seen the floor plans, they look fine. Are there any other issues that we need to discuss on this? Okay, so I will submit a motion to approve these 4 events. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
The motion is approved for the application for 4 one-day licenses for malt, common victular, and entertainment for Black Marble Motorcycles, LLC, DBA Boston Harley Davidson. The events will be held on Saturday, March 30th, 2019, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for a service open house. Saturday, April 6, 2019, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for a season opener shopping event. Item number 3, Saturday, April 20th, 2019, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. for an Easter weekend shopping party. And the final event will be on Saturday, June 22nd, 2019, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for the infamous Wall of Death performance by the Rebel Hell Riders.
Thank you.
Those applications are approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 8 is a late addition to the agenda. It's the NAI Entertainment Holdings LLC DBA Showcase Cinemas Revere, 565 Squire Road. Sean Judge is the area manager. This is an application for a 2-day extension of hours for entertainment license. The application for Showcase Cinemas for a 2-day extension of hours to accommodate a limited engagement movie marathon. Your name and address for the record, please, sir.
Sean Judge, 26 Hillcrest Drive, Tingsboro, Massachusetts.
Very good. Can you explain to us what Showcase Cinemas has in mind for these?
Sure. I have some handouts here.
Very good. Thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity to be a late add-on here. We've been presented with an extremely unique opportunity from a major film studio to have the exclusive, to be the exclusive provider of a blockbuster movie marathon in late April. It will be the only showing in New England. There's only 11 theater locations across the country that will be participating or have been asked to participate in this event. It's going to lead up to the culmination of a very big cinematic universe. 22 movies in all over approximately a 48-hour period, starting on the afternoon of Tuesday, April 23rd, and commencing in the evening of April 25th. We will be showing this in one auditorium. The approximate seating capacity of that auditorium is about 230 people. Ticketed event. Each attendee will get a lanyard in addition to their printed ticket. And we would have security on site. I've reached out to Chief Guido. We've been unable to connect, but I've reached out to Chief Guido to talk about any concerns that he might have and any additional police security that we could involve for the event. We would be open for these 230 guests, what would typically be our off hours. Right now, our operating license permits us to be open till 3 a.m., 7 days a week. So on Tuesday night into Wednesday, Wednesday night into Thursday, we would be open just for these 230 guests from 3 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Okay, very good. And I see, now, do you plan on selling popcorn and stuff like that throughout the whole night?
We do. So we want to keep our concession stands open throughout. It's important to be able to provide, these people with food. Important for us to be able to make some money on it as well. We would not change our hours of operation for liquor service. Presently, on weeknights, we're making our last call at about 10 o'clock at night, and we're clearing people out of Chatters by about 10:30. We would not change that part of the operation. However, we would like the ability to serve food at Chatters. Part of what our overall campaign is going to be will involve a breakfast in the morning, and having people be able to purchase like a hamburger or loaded nachos, something like that, late at night. I think would add to the event for the attendees.
So actually, you'd like to extend the entertainment license and the common victuals license for that, for
Yes,
those hours?
and I do have, when I spoke with Maggie on Monday afternoon, things, I'm getting more details. Things are changing quickly for me because this really all came about on Monday. So we've kind of discussed how will we execute this and, how will we promote it and what will we do. So when Maggie and I spoke on Monday, I originally had said, we weren't going to do anything with the restaurant. But in thinking about it, we want to be able to provide these guests with all of our food options.
So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. I just had a quick question. What's the age group that would want to watch this
It's a
movie?
PG-13 movie.
Oh, it is PG.
It's a PG-13, they're all PG-13 movies. There's 22 of them. We are not going to be, for this marathon, we're not permitting anybody under 18 to see the films. I don't know necessarily that we need to say that, because I don't know that there's going to be a lot of people that are bringing their 10-year-olds to sit in a movie theater for 48 hours, but we will be doing that.
So it will be 18 and
18
over.
plus, yeah.
Okay, because they're staying up all night. You're saying they're going till 9 in the morning. It's,
My guess is that there will be periods of time when, you know, there's a particular film in the universe that someone doesn't want to see, that they're going to leave and go home. I don't think that all 230 people are going to sit or stay on the property for 48 hours.
so how do they, does one ticket allow you to stay the whole evening, or do you have to?
We would have, it's one ticket for the entire 48 hours, and as I said, each person is going to be given a lanyard, so they would have the lanyard, and both of those would be used for identifying the guests that are permitted to be inside that auditorium.
Okay, and Chad, is obviously the bar area would be closed down because your license would not allow any later than what it says.
Well,
I
what
think
I'm,
you have- you
what
have
I'm
one.
asking for is for us to be able to serve food after the stated hours. We would remove all the liquor, close it like we do every night, but just serve food.
Have the tables open?
Correct.
Okay, and the rest of the cinema, you're able to shut the rest of the cinema down at 3 o'clock? The other cinemas?
Yeah,
Even
they'll
with-
be closed as normal, right. They get out on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. Their films are ending in those auditoriums between 11 and 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, so people can still come and go through the evening?
Correct.
They can, okay. Thank you.
People exiting those movies that aren't staying for the cinema universe, the marathon, they're leaving and going to their car.
Okay. What's the latest you allow people to come in?
We close our doors 15 minutes after the last movie starts, so that, it changes week to week based on our film schedules. It's typically 11:15 would be the latest that we would start a movie during the week, so we're closing our doors to the public at 11 o'clock. Typically, it's probably between 10:30 and 11:15 that the doors are being closed.
Okay. And you will have extra security?
Yes.
Inside and out?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about specifics of our security because this is a public forum, but we do take security very seriously. And we would have additional security. I would make sure that Chief Guido is comfortable with the additional security, both our private security as well as Revere Police.
Right. And I think Lieutenant Randall can help us out also, as far as the security there. When is our carnival up? Do they run the same dates? The carnival be up at the same time?
The carnival is up. I drove by this afternoon and saw the Ferris wheel. So the carnival is starting this
But I'm
week.
talking your dates of this.
But
this
they'll
show.
be ending on April 14th, so the day before Patriots' Day. And this is a week after. The carnival will be gone.
Okay.
It was a long-winded response to your
Well,
question.
that's good, because that's just a little too much. I don't know, I mean, it sounds like you've got everything under control.
I find it amazing. Question, what do you charge for a ticket?
You're asking me a question that I should know, but
How do you
this
price that
ticket
out?
price will obviously be higher. We haven't settled on a final ticket price for this marathon. It certainly will be more than our general admission price now. I would quote a price and, someone would hear me and I'd be wrong.
Sure.
And
So I understand, so the one that, it's amazing, first of all, who would do it? And I guess there's a lot of kids who are into it's the Marvel comics, right? That's something like that?
yeah, I certainly, I think people will be able to determine which movie it is. The movie studio's trying to not publicize this at this point, but it is a very big cinematic universe. And, I'm 45 years old. If I wasn't working, I'd probably be attending. And,
Yeah. So the other questions, the shower truck is interesting.
yeah, I wanted to
Is that
kind
something
of
that's-
bring that up as
You're not
a separate request, because as I said, things have really changed since Monday afternoon. And we're trying to, market this in a very appropriate way to match the exclusivity and the experience that I think the guests are going to have participating in this event. And one of the ideas that we have come up with is providing our guests with an opportunity to stay clean. And we found this company that provides mobile outdoor showers. And these are units that are used for public events. You'd find them at some music festivals, for example. So what we would plan to do is we would have 2 mobile shower units. Each one has 3 stalls. One would be male, one would be female. We'd have security positioned there. Guests would sign up for stated time slots to use those showers. Their privacy and security is of utmost importance. They're lockable from the inside. When they're not in use, they're lockable from the outside. And there would be specific time frames that the showers could be used. Probably about 9 o'clock in the morning during the day, and I don't know exactly how long that time frame would be, but guests would have to sign up for it.
So that's interesting in itself. But the question is, so when people say they can come and go, so I buy a ticket, I go for the first 3 or 4 shows, and I go home or do whatever. But you can come back at like 5 in the morning if that show is starting?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Correct, and our doors would be locked so that people that were not supposed to be in the building couldn't get in the building, but we would have...
Somebody's got to let them in if they're coming in at 5 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
I find it very intriguing, this marathon. Like it almost goes back to the old dance marathons they had. That's, back in Rob's day. Not so much.
Yeah, I think it's...
I find it interesting, and Revere being on the cutting edge, along with 11 other, of these out throughout the country, is not a bad. I think it's very creative.
It's a testament.
I kind of like it if it's done correctly.
It's a testament not just to our own business and the relationships that we build with the film studios, but they specifically requested the Showcase Revere. And I think that's a testament to the city, the people that we have that come in as guests. They're avid film goers. They soak up the products, and we do tremendous business. We do a lot with different film studios that come in, and the feedback that the film studios get from the people that come in is always very positive. The feedback that they give us about our guests is very positive. So I think it's not just great for us, it's great for the city. And with that, us being the only New England theater that's doing it and having some unique, interesting marketing strategies such as mobile showers, there's going to be, it's going to draw the attention of the press in a very positive light. And, it's another way to highlight the businesses that operate in the city.
Very good. Thank you very much. Let me just check and see if there are any other proponents out there. Is anybody that would like to speak on behalf of this?
Hi, Deputy Chief again. This came across the chief's desk today, and we actually spoke about it quickly. Our concern was, and I guess maybe go on the other side, but 230 guests in the building, the majority of the building's going to be shut down, so we were throwing back and forth fire detail to be in there for the overnights. And if your mobile showers, how is the water heated?
As I said, I reached out to Chief Guido. I also did reach out to Chief Bright. I spoke with Chief Bright on Monday afternoon. He asked me to send him an email with some details. I believe that I did that, but I'll double check if you don't have, maybe that's the email that you have. And a fire detail or anything that the fire department wanted us to do, that's what I was checking for. So certainly it's something that we're amenable to. And for the shower units, the water would be delivered from a hose out of an exterior spigot from the exterior of the building. and there's a generator that would heat the water. There's I think a 200-gallon tank that would be emptied every morning, and the units would be cleaned, sanitized, and that's all handled by the company that we would rent the units from.
Very good, thank you very much. Are there any other opponents? Hearing and seeing none, I'll close that section. I think it's a great event. I think it's got a lot of potential. I think you guys have done a good job in the past, running different things, and you run a great business over there. We like having Showcase Cinema, so I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I don't know if any of my commissioners.
Yeah, as long as, I think, if the fact is, the security is a big thing, and if you're in, if you're in contact with Chief Guido and Chief Bright on the security, because late at night, when word gets out, there could be, kids who want to cause havoc. That's the big thing when it comes to these events.
Agree
But
100%.
outside of that, I think it's a pretty creative idea, and I think, and I'm kind of happy we're selected as one of the venues for it, because it's not abutting any residential for the most, not residential at all, so.
Right.
There's no impact there, so I think it's not a bad thing.
When we have our final security plan, I can share that with the commission. You can send Maggie an email that she can forward out. But we had a lengthy discussion yesterday internally with our corporate executives, and a major focus of that was what are we doing for security? So that is a paramount concern of ours as well.
Very good. Well, I would make a motion to approve this movie Super Marathon. Do I have a second here?
I'll second the motion.
Yeah, I'll third the motion.
Motion is approved unanimously for a application for a 2-day extension of hours of the common victular and entertainment license of NAI Entertainment Holdings LLC, DBA Showcase Cinemas Revere. That'll be a 2-day extension of hours to accommodate a limited engagement movie marathon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
One last question.
Sure.
On the tickets, are they going to be, assuming, purchased online?
You will be able to purchase them online, yeah.
Okay.
My guess is that a majority of the tickets will be sold online, and that majority of them will go very fast.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But we will be, to the point of us not having anyone under 18, we'll be checking IDs upon the entry.
All right, great, thank you.
Can you just make an appointment to take a shower?
I'll check on that for you.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Item number 9. The Revere Lodge Loyal Order of Moose, 1272 470 Broadway. Wesley Clements, manager. The application for a change of officers and change of manager. The application of the Revere Lodge Loyal Order of Moose, 1272, for a change of manager to John R. Goodwin from Wesley Clemens, and a change of officers to reflect new slate of club officers. This is a continuation from our February meeting. Your name and address for the record, please.
Good morning, good afternoon. Jennifer Santana, 24 Prospect Street in Saugus, Mass.
Very good. And now, we've been going around on this thing for a few months now.
Yes.
Where are we on all of the paperwork and the issues that are?
You gave us 30 days to pay all the bills, get in good standings, what everyone.
Yes, how are we doing with that?
We got a loan for $45,000. We paid everything.
Great.
Everything is paid off, the lottery. We have all the in good standing reports.
Okay.
We reopened 3 weeks ago. I'm
Into the mic,
sorry.
please. I'm sorry, that's okay.
We reopened 3 weeks ago. Within the 3 weeks, we've actually gone through 4 governors. One of them just resigned this morning that was supposed to be here to put the license in his name. withdrew this morning. He called and spoke to Maggie. Therefore, everything else had been done. We have an inspection due tomorrow with Lieutenant Leary from the fire department. We couldn't get her any sooner than tomorrow at 10.
Okay.
Okay, she will be in at 10. I've been there for 7 years. I'm not going, you see me every court date, I'm gonna put it in my name. We've had just since this morning to really get things together. I have some papers, everything's filled out, I just have to get like notarized and just didn't have
Is
time.
there a light at the end of the tunnel here?
Yes, yes, I hope so. I'm still trying, but we're in good standing with everyone. I actually just refilled out the lottery paperwork. We'll be getting our lottery back. We have new members coming in. We have a concert coming up on the 30th. We have Decades of Rock that plays here at City Hall. They're coming on the 30th. We're really
Okay.
trying to.
Who's overseeing the whole process?
And it's been me.
But I thought the international
Oh,
organization.
That would be.
Oh, is that who you are? Okay.
Yeah, my name's Bob Hupfer, and I'm the territory manager for Moose International, and I live in Springfield, Mass. And I have been down to the lodge many, many times since our last meeting here to go over the details of the proper operation of a moose lodge. We have an administrator in place that's been in place for at least 30 days now. The problem is with the governors, it's a volunteer position, and once they realize what the job entails, they hightail it out of there. You know what I mean? There's no more volunteerism like there was in the old days where somebody would step up and do the job correctly. So we do have a man right over here behind us that has put his name in for governor as of this morning when I found out about it. I arrived at 9 o'clock this morning, approximately, and was told that John Goodwin, whose name is on your application there, had dropped the ball as of this morning or last night, I forget what. So this is a past governor of the lodge. James, what's your last name, Jim?
James Bocelli, 110 Kimball Ave, Revere, Mass.
And he has been a governor at the lodge in the past. So it is my feeling that having the experience as a past governor, it will help tremendously. Yes, they've had some stumbling blocks, but I think we're finally getting over the hump here. We have, again, picked up some new members since the last time around, and things are looking good going forward. And I intend to be down here whenever need be to make sure that that happens. And if it doesn't happen, as we did earlier, we closed the lodge because of some issues, financial issues and so forth, that they've taken care of.
So do we have you down on record if any problems that arise down there?
Do you have I don't know if you do or not, but no. But I can certainly,
Because I think it would be better to go through you than, an employee that works there. You say you're watching, you're overseeing everything and hoping things go well. I would just as soon have your information, so if something isn't going right, we can get in touch with you.
absolutely,
So if you could give us that at any time,
Absolutely.
we would appreciate it.
sure thing.
Okay.
So I guess what we're getting at is Jennifer has decided as bar manager, but she's been the bar manager for 7 years, putting her name on the liquor license rather than a governor, because the governors come and go. Even if they stay a year, next year they're gone. So the constant here would be the social quarters manager. Thank you.
Very good.
She would have to make out application for it to change.
So you're going to be the governor, and you're going to be on the liquor license, bar managers. And you guys have, and you've been there for many years, and you're always here.
I know.
Always here. God bless you. But, so it seems like there's some structure happening.
Yes.
As we speak, you explained the governor's situation, which I get it. That's kind of an old school thing, doing things for nothing. It doesn't happen anymore. But it seems like you're moving in the right direction. Establishment's been there for many years.
Over 100 years.
Oh, many, many years. So it seems like there's some things moving forward.
Yes, however, at the moment, we don't have,
I think she just said she has one.
you have one in your possession, but it's not filled out, right? We don't have
I have to have
a,
it notarized.
Okay.
We have the change of managers, we have all my information. I'm sorry. We have all my information, we have the change of managers. I really couldn't do nothing, it was such a short notice.
Yes, I understand.
I did come and see Maggie this morning, and I have, if she's willing to accept with my name and all my stuff on it, and I can get this notarized and bring it first thing in the morning, but I have this done.
Okay, I'm not too sure you can go downstairs and have it notarized.
Can I?
I don't know if Ashley can notarize that.
I would, well, I understand your plight, and I see your position, and I appreciate the fact that you guys came here and you have all of your receipts for the work that you've done. However, we don't have anything to really act on, so I think what we would do at this point is maybe continue it for another month.
Please.
Okay? We'll give you another month to square away the rest of the paperwork, and hopefully at our next meeting, you'll come back with a nice application that we can vote on and approve. I mean,
Thank you.
no one wants to hurt the Moose. It's been a great organization in the city for a long time. So, we just want to make sure that we're doing things the right way here.
Thank you
Okay?
so
And I know you
much.
guys do too, so.
We're trying, thank you.
I would make a motion that we continue this for another month.
Okay, but within the month, I would like to see someone's application in to be on the liquor license, and also a contact that we can get in touch with, should something go. Should we need them for anything, let's rephrase that.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
then in a month, I would expect that there is a new person on the license.
I'll be in the morning for Maggie. Thank you.
All right, so is that a second for that?
I will second the motion.
Very good. So that's the motion that we will approve, which will be to continue this for another month, give you an opportunity to square away the governor and the rest of the paperwork, come back in here, and then
Thank you so much.
we'll be able to deal with it at that point.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
We are now moving into the hearings. This is item number 10. This is Kenneth G. LaFosse, DBA Brothers Auto Body, 19 Naples Road. Kenneth G. LaFosse is the manager. This is a status update regarding a hearing into violations of a Class II motor vehicle dealer license stemming from fraud convictions. Name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members. James Cipolletta, 385 Broadway, Revere, on behalf of the licensee, Kenneth LaFosse. When we were before the commission about 3 months ago, the commission took certain action with regard to Mr. LaFosse's license, and we had been given a list of things to correct by the Inspectional Services Department, Fire Department, and so forth. And we suggested that we could give the commission a status update in 90 days hence, so we're here today to do that. So I know that Deputy Cheever has his list, Kenny has his list. I'm not sure how mirror image they are, but if you'd want to hear from Kenny about the number of, the number of items that he was provided with and what the status is with regard to each, he's happy to do that, and then I'm sure that the fire department will follow up with its comments.
Very good, yes. Mr. LaFosse, if you'd go over that list with us so we can see where we are with this.
Right, the fire alarm is in the building. That's all up to date, inspected. All the fire extinguishers are inspected.
I'm sorry, sir, can you speak into the microphone?
The fire extinguishers and all my fire things got inspected. Ansel system's been up and inspected. Emergency lighting is done. I guess I gotta put a couple more lights in. I didn't realize that until yesterday. He wants a second egress on the door for downstairs. Waiting for Luigi. He's, Sacconi's, they're doing that. He do that within the next couple weeks as soon as the weather breaks. What else I got? That's what I'm working on, getting rid of a lot of cars down there. I got rid of a lot of stuff already, cleaning up. That's about it. I got a thing on filters for the spray booth, which I have them there. That'll be done within the next couple of weeks. I got to get new doors for the spray booth. And I'm moving forward and getting everything cleaned up.
Very good. Well, looks like you're making progress.
Thank you.
That's what we were here for, to see if you were making progress. Do any of my fellow commissioners have any questions or comments?
Well, I have to say, I don't live far from there, and you've come a long way, I have to say. I want to thank you for being considerate of the neighbors that live in that area, keeping that road wide open. You know, at one time, quite a hazard for, God forbid, a fire or anything trying to get down that street.
understand.
But I do take that road, and you have come a long way. You still have a little more work to do, but I'm
Just as soon
hoping
as the
that...
weather breaks.
Right, I'm just hoping that, you know, we get things finished and finalized. But I have to say, I'm very pleased with what I've seen.
Thank you.
Very good. Commissioner, you have any questions or comments?
I'll wait till I hear from any, Deputy Cheever.
Very good. We'll close that part of the meeting. Are there any opponents or anyone else like to speak?
Okay, Deputy Cheever, Fire Prevention again. We went to do an inspection of the property for the installation of the fire alarm system. At that point, Mr. LaFosse got a little heated, and so we didn't finish the inspection and we left. During the inspection of the property, we talked about a few of the things that he just highlighted. There is still a business that needs to be substantiated that's running out of the basement of the property. So from what I understand, he's an auto body shop that's been operating here for a number of years and is licensed as such. But there is another business that's running in the basement, which I can't determine whether it's a auto body shop or a repair shop. It's been proposed as both, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. So that business is not licensed, okay? He produced a license for Juan's Auto Body, which is a state license, not a Revere license. He needs to clear this issue up with the city as to what's actually happening at the property, whether he's leasing to this person or this person's part of his business. This is the business that brought light to his property in the first place. This is the one that had the issue with the vehicle 2 years ago. I think it's probably closer to 3 years ago now. So that hasn't been resolved. So I can't sign off on a fire alarm system and the other issues until I understand what the business operation is. There's a makeshift paint booth, and for a lack of a better word, it's not a paint booth, in the basement. It's just plywood up against the wall. It doesn't meet any code requirements. It doesn't meet the DEP for recovery of the overspray or anything like that. There's no suppression system in it. That system needs to be completely removed. He's aware of that, and that's been discussed. Not really sure what he said just now about spray booths. The spray booth upstairs has a suppression system in it that was tagged, but he was not able to produce the report for that system. There's a 2-page report that has to come along with that system to say that that system's being maintained. Again, the basement is being used for auto body. The only access to that is a spiral staircase and then an overhead door. There's no other door to get in or out of there. It doesn't meet code. So if that is, his business is going to be extended in there, or he's going to legitimize the business that's in there, he needs to bring that area up to code and add proper egress. As far as the parking, has he improved? Yeah, he has improved. He's still putting cars on the Clear Channel property, and he still leaves cars on the street overnight.
Thank you very much, Deputy Chief. The business down below, what have you gone down to look at that?
I have.
And what is it?
So, 2.5 years ago, I visited the property for a fraud investigation with the Insurance Fraud Bureau, related to a vehicle that Juan's Auto Body repaired. And the person had an issue, turns into the Fraud Bureau. So I went there with the building commissioner. We were not aware of Juan's Auto Body in the basement. At that time, Mr. LaFosse presented that to us and said, it's not an auto body shop, it's an auto repair shop. He does auto repair for me. Refused us access to the basement. So I was not able to inspect the property at that time. Later on, we returned to the property, and got access to the basement and observed that it was actually being used as an auto body shop with the makeshift spray booth in the back corner. And several vehicles in different stages of auto body repair. At that point, we discussed the fact that it was not a legitimate business and he needed to cease that operation. And if he planned on continuing to do auto body work in that basement, that business needed to become part of his business and he needed to bring it up to current code. That didn't happen, and therefore his property was turned over to the Safe Housing Task Force, and he received fines associated with that due to him not conforming, and he received several letters from the city requesting further inspection to resolve those issues.
So if, just say for the sake of argument, he had expanded his business to the area below, would that make it a legitimate operation at that point?
I'm going to not comment on that because that's not in my field of expertise. That's something he'd have to discuss with the solicitor's office and about licensing expansion. Now that said, right now, the operation that's ongoing in the basement is in violation in terms of the code.
Very good. All right, well, thank you very much. Gentlemen, do you have anything to say about what the deputy fire chief had to say?
Juan's Auto Repair, been down there for probably 10 years now, maybe.
Well, I mean, it's probably been down there illegally for 10 years.
Well, it's separate electric, separate heat, separate utilities, separate everything. He has a permit from the city, he has a permit from the state, he has all his permits. I don't know, and I gave them to Deputy Chivas, and, you know, he takes cars apart. I do the spraying upstairs. There is a spray booth down there, makeshift spray booth, that's been there since I got the building 30 years ago, that's been there. But I told him I will take that down. It will be down. There is a fire alarm down there. I gotta add one door, which I said, as soon as the weather breaks, we'll put the door in.
Well, let's cut to the chase. You heard what he gave you as a list, what his list was.
I just got the list yesterday.
Okay. Are you gonna have a problem fulfilling that?
Not at all.
So when you come back here in 3 months,
Right.
that list is gonna be punched out?
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
A quick question. How often, maybe it's the Deputy Fire Chief a question, how often do they have to come for inspections on, you know, their spray paint booths and other equipment? Is it annual, every 2 years? Do they have to have, if they were legitimate, how often do they have to be inspected?
Well, it depends on how often the spray booth is being used. The spray booth that he does have upstairs right now, he has filters inside the spray booth that he's supposed to check and change out as they get coated with paint, so to meet DEP requirements. When I did the inspection, the filters he had were completely caked with paint, so they should have been changed out way ahead of that. That's a thing he's supposed to control. As far as his Ansel system, he has biannual inspections that he's supposed to take care of that. As far as fire alarm system, which he just installed, there's an annual inspection he's supposed to have to take care of that. And he does have monitoring. We actually responded to the property the other day for an issue.
So he's done some inspections and some not on some of the equipment?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. DeLaFosse, are you aware of that these inspections are required, either whether annual or, it doesn't seem like you...
I do have the fire extinguishers. They were a couple months past code. All the fire extinguishers had them code. I have a fireplace up in Ipswich comes down and does it. The Ansel system, they just did all that and checked that, but I didn't know anything about a report they needed. They did everything, so I don't know about a 2-page report.
They should give you a report on the system.
I'll follow up on that, but everything is inspected, everything is done. As far as downstairs, I don't know, he's been there he had all his permits, he has everything. It's 2 separate places. It's been that since I've been there.
Yeah, but that doesn't, even if it's a permit, doesn't seem like it's it's up to code. These permits might have been,
Well, we got the fire alarm down there, I gotta put another door down there.
But he-
The door's going in, and the spray booth, that makeshift spray booth that's down there, it's a room, I'll
Yeah.
take that's gonna come down.
if he mentioned about 4 or 5 things that were out of code, so I'm kind of confused of this person.
So the people that are in the basement,
Yeah.
if something happens, it's okay that they're there now until he puts a door in? So he's he's in direct violation right there. So I can close him just based on the fact that there's no egress in the basement, and that's clear in the code, and I'm sure your council can speak to that. You can't put people in peril and in danger until the weather breaks so you can put another door in.
There is a
It doesn't work that way.
The door goes into my shop.
Okay, so I'm telling you that you're out of conformance with what you have for egresses in the basement in a business that hasn't been licensed in the city. He doesn't have a license in the city. You have a license to the property, so now you're bringing him in. You need to clear up the property, you need to clear up the business. He has a state license, which you can just apply for online.
He has
He doesn't have a city
license from
license.
Revere. I gave it to
Okay,
him.
yeah, you gave me the state license.
I gave you a Revere license too. If you come back down there, I'll bring it up to you
All right,
tomorrow.
well, I'm not gonna argue with you,
No, it's
okay?
not an
That's why,
argument. I'll give it
okay?
to you tomorrow.
So, one moment you tell me the business in the basement is doing auto repair, and the next moment, when we finally get in there and inspect it, now it becomes auto body. So, the deception is from you, not from anyone else. So, you kind of mince words, and you did it 2 months ago when you were up here, and you said both again. If you could go back and look at the tape, you said it was auto repair, well, sometimes he does auto body for me. Now you come up and you say, well, he has his own license and he runs his own auto body
He has
business.
his
You
own
can't get your
license.
story
You're
straight.
saying He has his own license. No,
I just gave you the 3 different
if
stories.
we
you
go
gave.
downstairs, he has a license. It's Juan's Auto Repair. He has a license from the city of Revere. Okay? He has a state license. He has a city license. So I don't know, I'm just. He had it.
I don't have it.
We gave it to you the last time you were there.
When
And you
I left
came
my-
back,
when I left
you
my
came back
folder
and
there,
bought
I
it.
come back and then you couldn't
Can we
find
hear
the
this
folder.
in 3 months, call him back?
Let's grab it.
Clear it up.
Let's get it. I'd like to see it too.
Whatever there is that exists, we'll get it.
Okay.
We'll either get it to the fire department, and if the commission wants copies, I'll get them, I'll scan them and send them to me.
Yeah,
Because
I'd like-
this is
I'd like
dragging
to
on.
just make a motion that.
This is
we,
dragging on too long.
Yeah, this is.
This is getting ridiculous.
That we come back in 3 months and that in the 3 months, this is all have to be brought before the board. Show us what you have. The deputy has got to see that Revere license. If they don't have a Revere license, he has to get one. Okay? And I'm going to make a motion that we continue this for another 3 months, but in 3 months, that will be it. You've got to be up to code with the questions that have been asked today and the concerns that have been brought up today.
Do you want to,
Okay.
Oh, he wants to address.
like
But
daily-
before he does that, I just want to, the deputy and I are going to correspond by email so that I have the list, and then I can sort of check it off and keep the commission apprised of
Right,
where we are.
make sure that.
Yeah, so we'll all be working from the same
Right,
list.
as long as the deputy is satisfied that you do have the proper licensing, you know, I'm
Right.
okay with that.
Yeah.
I want to add a couple other things. So, the list he now has, where did you get that list from? All right, so Lance Kelly gave it to you after he come by and saw me, and I went over it again verbally. So that list was given to you when I did the inspection, okay, for the fire alarm system. Hold on. So, now, if you go to the file, Lance Kelly came and got that for you. If you go to your building file, there are several letters in there in the past from Lance citing you for parking vehicles on Naples Road. So this is not a new thing. You've been cited for it in the past, and it's in your file in the city, from Lance when he was the building commissioner. Yeah. So do a file
Deputy,
search. So
I
you've been
would ask-
cited for this issue
Deputy,
multiple
excuse me.
times.
Deputy, would ask that you come through the chair here, okay?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yep.
So, are you satisfied that he has got the information and you're going to deal with the counselor here?
Through his counsel, I think we can get to where we need to be.
Okay,
But I
very
still
good.
think his issue is that he needs to cease the parking on Naples Road. And if you go to his building file, he's been cited for it many times in the past. It's not a new thing that I brought about. The Clear Channel property is still an issue.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have a motion to continue this for 3 months, which
I
is...
just have one more thing.
Yes, sir.
On my dealer's license.
Can you speak into the microphone?
On
please?
my dealer's license, you gave me a temporary license.
Yes, we're going to continue that temporary license for another...
But
There's
you
no-
can't use a
There's no
temporary
such, there's no
license.
such thing as a temporary
I
license.
don't know where that came from. That was changed, though. I think the temporary was taken
No,
off of that
it's temp,
license.
but now it's a 6-month license. You only can get a license from year to year. If I can just get the regular license, then if you got to suspend my license, you can suspend it. The registry
Absolutely.
will not take a license 6 months or a temporary license or a 3-month license.
Yes, I did look into that, and the temporary doesn't work. I understand
And
that.
a 6-month
There's
license
no
doesn't
such
work
thing.
either. So
So
if they can just give me my regular license.
I would make a motion to renew your license, okay, the Class 2 license. But you will come back in 3 months, and it can be suspended or
Right.
revoked.
No, I understand
if you
that.
don't comply. So to me, it doesn't really make a difference what the wording is on it. I
Right.
know
Well, they won't
the
take it.
registry won't take the temporary. They said there's no such thing. So I have no problem with that, but that doesn't mean anything.
No, I understand
The
that.
license can still be revoked in 3 months.
Right, no, I understand that.
So, but I would go ahead with renewing the license.
Yeah, before we put this to vote, the parking, we didn't really address that as much in the last 20 minutes. I want to understand, so is this parking causing a public safety issue that, or is it more of just tell me about the parking a little, where he's parking these cars?
I think that the chief has been in touch with them, and that's what his counsel said he's going to straighten out, because that isn't his land.
Correct.
I
and
think
that
they
doesn't-
did touch
And
upon
that shouldn't take 3 months to, I mean,
I've been, I don't
we should have
park
that
nothing in
squared away
front. I don't
before
park
3 months.
anything out there. It's just like,
Okay.
like I told you before, there's 10 businesses on the street.
Okay.
Just, I'm not the only
All
one who
right,
parks
so
out there.
as everybody's on the same page, we have the parking issue, we have the
Right.
basement business, and we have so we have a lot of things. So like I said, this has been dragging on for far too long. We've been so lenient. At some point, I mean, everything's going to be revoked, so you really need to listen to the deputy, your counsel, and us. Things aren't going to turn out well, so really, please, help us out.
I'm working on it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a second on my
I'd like to
motion renewal
speak
of
on the
license?
fact that you gave him another opportunity to speak here, and you're considering renewing his license for 1 year. Another part of the renewal, of the reason you gave him a temporary license is because he had a court case that was outstanding, and that was also continued to this hearing. So I'd like to know where we are with the court case.
Thank you very much, Deputy.
Well, I think the only reason I said that, Debbie, just to straighten it out, the registry did not recognize a temporary license, first time they've seen it. That's the only reason I'm saying that. So I understand what you say. The last month, we were supposed to get an update.
Right, and I agree. So if you're going to consider renewing his license for the 1 year, let's at least hear where he is with the court
No, not for a year.
case.
He has to come back in 3 months.
So you're keeping him on a
Renewing
temporary?
the license, you can revoke in 3 months. It doesn't make a difference in the wording. If he's
Oh,
still
I
in
understand.
violation of what he's doing and he's not listening,
Yep.
you've given him the list, the council said he's the one that's going to deal with you. In 3 months, when he comes back, that list better be cleared up, or the license can be revoked.
I'm clear on that. What I've asked for is you're considering right now, because he's having trouble getting his dealer plates, is
Right.
giving him his license, because you either give it to him or you don't. So if you're going to do that, all I'm asking for is part of the hearing 2 months ago was these violations, but also it was a continuation to find out where he standed with his court case.
Well, I mean, that
His
was...
counsel, I would assume the counsel.
I know that there was some reference to putting the matter off until the appeal was heard, and we decided not to do that. So we had the hearing regardless of the appeal status. So at this point, for what we're dealing with right now, the appeal status is not an issue. It wasn't an issue when we decided that we were going to go forward regardless of his appeal pending or not pending, that was not an issue. So, I mean, if you'd like to volunteer where the appeal process is, that's fine, but for this, it's not part of, our consideration on this particular issue.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner.
So there is a motion to approve Mr. LaFoss's Class 2 motor vehicle license, dealer license for 1 year. Is there a second on that? I will second that motion. So the application is approved for Mr. LaFosse to have a 1-year Class 2 motor vehicle dealer's license. But you understand, sir, that you have to come back in 3 months. And if that punch list is not taken care of to the satisfaction of the Revere Fire Department, this license will be revoked at that time, or at least there'll be a vote on it to see if it will be revoked. All right, do you understand? Thank you very much. Thank you, Counselor. Item number 11. This is 388 Broadway LLC, DBA Volare, 338 Broadway, Cecilia Maya, manager. It's a hearing into possible violations, including service of intoxicated patrons, failure to properly control a licensed premise. Is there anybody from Volare here? I don't see anybody, so we'll move to the next section. Is there an officer from Revere Police here that can tell us what issues were stemming from this particular set of violations?
Yes, sir. Detective Lieutenant Robert Impemba.
Polaris has not come here. I wouldn't even go ahead with the hearing. I think it was up to them to show up here this afternoon. And I would make a motion that they're closed until they do show up. I don't think they have any regard for the city. I mean, if the officer wants to go ahead, I don't want to go on with a hearing without them here because they have the right to speak. But I have to be honest with you, I think it's totally disrespectful that they haven't shown up, and we've had problems in the last 6 months with Volaris. And I'm a little upset that they haven't shown up, and the officer has been sitting here for the last 2 hours, and I just find it disrespectful that they didn't even show up to give us their side of the story.
Very good. I mean, I don't have a problem with them not showing up. I'll listen to the officer, and then we'll vote to see what type of sanctions we would give them, whether it's rolling back their hours for a period of time or closing them completely for a period of time.
Well, I totally agree with you, and whichever way my colleagues want to go, I'm in favor of that, and I do want to hear what the officer has to say, but I just don't want to give them any appeal rights saying that they didn't have a chance to speak. They were well notified, they've gotten their letter, they know they were supposed to be here, they know they're in violation, so I just don't want to give them anything that they can use to go to court. But I'm more than willing to listen to what the officer has to say.
Would you like to hear from me? Yes, officer, if you'd please fill us in, and then we will move accordingly.
Okay, my name is Detective Lieutenant Robert Impemba with the Revere Police Narcotics and Gang Unit. Over the past 4 months, there's been numerous legitimate causes for concern, occurrences that took place at Volari's on December 2nd and December 29th. December 2nd and January 24th, there were a couple of documented physical altercations when the bar closed. On December 29th, 2018, we had a shooting and a stabbing. Participants in that altercation were at Volare prior to that, and it looked like it might have been some type of transaction gone bad. 2 occurrences this past February. This past February was an individual leaving the bar. A serious motor vehicle accident took place on Park Ave. Numerous items of concern were recovered from that individual's vehicle, to include narcotics and a firearm. Most recently, through investigative efforts, we discovered that this coming Saturday night, March 23rd, they're hosting a birthday party, and it's going to be a music video shot or filmed inside of the bar. I have a flyer that we discovered on the internet promoting this event, and it's just a legitimate cause for concern given the clientele that they're attracting lately.
Have you had opportunities to deal with the management of the bar and discuss these situations, and what is their position on these types of things?
So my involvement with management at the bar Unfortunately, it's been called out to the scene when I need to recover video surveillance of an incident that had already taken place. Individual in management, Chris is his name, he's been very cooperative in supplying the video. In the past, we have addressed his clientele and things he might do to change the clientele, and I've seen no change since that time.
Thank you very much. Do any of my fellow commissioners have questions for this officer?
I have no questions. I know they're doing a great job down there, and this just seems like a pattern that's been going on for a while, so I have no comment at this time. No one cared to show up to defend themselves, so I would have to say they had nothing good to say and would like another month to come up, which would keep them open for a month, so they would hope to be heard next month. I just find that inexcusable. I would just like to hear if Lieutenant Randall has anything to add to it. I think he's been to the facility also.
Yeah, I'd just like to add a couple of things. The accident that Lieutenant Impemba spoke about, he was also charged with operating under the influence of alcohol. The operator in question took a breathalyzer, blew 3 times the legal limit, and in evidence, we have video evidence of him in the bar, leaving the bar, getting in the accident immediately after leaving the bar. So there's no question as to where the drinking took place. Then on March 10th, we had another operating under the influence of alcohol arrest, where the operator stated that he had been drinking at Valari's. So that's, how many, 10 days later after that, another, so there's definitely a question of over-serving going on at this establishment.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Lieutenant Impemba, if I can ask you, are any of these events happening earlier in the evening, or are they pretty much all late night?
They're all late night events. The dinner crowd at Valari has never been a problem. It's right up until that nighttime crowd, about 10 p.m. on, that becomes the issue.
Very good. Thank you very much.
So on this, you said there was a new event coming up, they were sending flyers out, or?
Well, I don't know who they sent the flyer to, but, my detective unit was able to locate this particular event that they are promoting on social media, and it's for Saturday, March 23rd.
And that's unbeknownst to us, right? Should that have been presented?
Videos, I don't think that's part of their entertainment license to put videos up.
They needed a special.
They're not putting a video up, they're shooting a live music video inside.
Oh, they're shooting a live, I don't know about that either. No, I don't think that comes under entertainment.
And it is cause for concern, like I said, given the clientele they're attracting.
So one last thing, just so we're all clear, the majority of these issues happen after 10 o'clock, after the dinner crowd leaves.
Mostly closing issues. This February 4th, last month, we had a stabbing right at closing, a fight that took place in the bars on video surveillance. So,
because I'm inclined to consider motioning where we pull back the hours versus closing them down, for the mere fact that the restaurant part seems to be pretty clean, doesn't happen, and after that, all hell breaks loose from all these experience at these meetings. So, but I want to think this through and hear from my colleagues regarding what type of punishment we give them.
I think that you're correct that these will all happen late hours, but they're over-serving them from 9 till that 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. They're drinking that whole time, so I just don't think they have any control down there. I've heard the stories for the last year, and there just doesn't seem to be any control. And I think putting our officers in danger to have to go there and not know what they're going to face, or people just driving through our city, innocent people, with people intoxicated driving.
No, I do understand that, but I think for the most part, the dinner crowd comes, eats and goes. They don't hang around till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I believe it's mostly people coming in after that, get intoxicated, problems start, and the dinner crowd's usually long gone. That's how I'm reading this, but you have a valid, obviously you have a
I
valid
would like
point.
to know, I don't know, the deputy chief is still sitting here. I don't know if he had something to add to this particular.
So when a entertainment license gets issued to an establishment, part of what we require is an area to be designated where the entertainment is going to occur. So what is required with that is that there is a power kill to any circuitry that's behind, if there's a DJ there, or if there's going to be music or something to that effect, where it'll kill the power to that circuitry if the fire alarms come on. So this entertainment license was issued. I'm not really sure what happened, but we're not contacted, so I have no idea if that has occurred here. There's been no fire alarm changes associated or an area designated for entertainment. So this is more of a point of information, so you'll know in the future of any location that's looking for this, make sure that they come and see us and we have a designated area for the power kills.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you, Lieutenant, appreciate it. Deputy, appreciate it very much. As my colleagues have kind of identified, it appears that this place cannot control the clientele that they're bringing in the late hours. So, I mean, I would make a motion to roll their hours back to a more reasonable time when, you know, it seems like maybe they can get their business act together and see what they can do going forward. I would propose that we roll them back to 11 o'clock, which I think would take care of a lot of the nighttime problems that we're having. They're not here to say how that would affect their business, so I guess we'll just assume that everything will be fine. Do I have a...
I would second that, but I also would like to amend that to limiting their entertainment license also. From what the officer has just showed us, I would hope that that wouldn't go forward, and what the deputy chief has said here also. I would like to limit their, I don't know what the correct wording would be on that, Chief, as far as the electricals.
So it's just a power kill. So you need a power kill upon fire alarm.
A power kill.
So they need to, if you would consider, also consider amendment before you consider extending the license back out, that they have that addressed.
Okay, so maybe on amending that motion, roll back of the hours 11 o'clock, that we would have to look into the power kill?
Power kill.
Okay, and that any special events like that, I think, should have to go through the commission. That doesn't come under their regular entertainment license, bringing in whatever they're going to bring in to make movies. I think that would be a special license. So I would like to amend that to roll back their entertainment. That would roll back their hours and entertainment, and limit them to special events would have to be approved by this council and the fire department.
Well, when you roll back their entertainment, are you going to allow them to have the TV and radio and that kind of thing, or what?
Well, I don't, can we roll back on certain items? I have no problems with the radio and the TV. Limit their entertainment to radio and TV.
And eliminate the DJ license and any other?
Any additional entertainment.
Okay, I mean, I would put that in the form of a motion that we will roll back Valari's hours of operation to include an 11 p.m. close, and also roll back their entertainment license to eliminate any entertainment except for the television and radio.
And that would be effective as of?
As of when they get the letter, whenever.
I would like that hand-delivered, if it's possible, that Lieutenant Randall could hand-deliver that, so that there is no question that they did receive it. Sometimes they seem to lose their mail. So if it can be hand-delivered, I would appreciate that as soon as possible, so that this event, I guess that event would be this Saturday. Am I correct? Yeah, so I think sending a letter out, they may not get it in time. Okay.
Very good. So that was the motion. Did you second that, Counselor? I mean, Commissioner?
Oh, yes, I did. I seconded, or John, did I?
Very good. That motion is approved.
And
Very
Deputy,
good.
if you could send us some kind of communication on what you've just explained to us as far as entertainment, so that for future references, we have it in front of us.
Sure. Also, if I could comment, I didn't see the flyer, but if they're doing filming, that does require special permits too, and because whatever they're doing in the property. So there's, there's other issues. We've had some filming going on in the city. There's fire details, there's police details there related to the equipment. A lot of times they want to shut off the fire alarm system based on what they're doing, so it's also, so there's a lot more going on than just a flyer and coming in with some cameras. So
Okay. So if you would just kind of jot that down for our information, then
Sure, I'll pass it through
moving
Maggie.
forward, we'll realize
Yep.
that we can't do that, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Deputy. Item number 11, Revere Liquors, Inc., DBA D&L Discount Liquors, 653 Broadway. Magdi Gali is the manager. This is a hearing into possible violations involving control of the licensed premises. Your name and address for the record, please, sir. Can you just press that button there and speak into it? Thank you.
Oh, sure. Magdi Gali, the manager of D&L Liquor since June 21, 1999.
Very good, sir. And you understand why we're here, right?
For sure I do.
The Revere Police received a complaint from a patron who was walking around your store. The
I'm
clerk
aware.
was asleep in the back, 20 minutes, no one watching the front. This is unacceptable.
For sure it is not.
You must think it's unacceptable. Everybody could have walked out with half your inventory.
I'm here to tell you fact, not
I mean,
anything
it's-
else but
it's
fact.
right near a school. We're worried about kids
I'm
going in
aware,
there, taking
I'm aware
bottles
about
and
that.
walking out.
I'm aware about that. I'm here to tell you fact, how I run my business for almost 20 years at the same location. I manage it for 20 years, same location. Maybe we have some violation, some issue, but it's not completely loose. We have some control. And I have the gentleman which was in the bathroom. First of all, my bathroom is, but by chance, he's suspended since this incident. He's not working anymore until we get to the bottom of that. If it's medical, if it's tired, fatigue, if it's whatever it is, I have no clue. I'm not in his brain. The bathroom, it's 2 by 2. If he'd like to sleep, he has a key for the door. He can lock the door. He can call me. I'm tired. I'd like to go home. He can do anything else. But I assume nobody will decide to sleep in 2 by 2 bathroom. And I have the picture for the bathroom. I can show it to you right now. It's exactly 2 by 2. Nobody will decide to sleep in 2 by 2.
Well, I understand, but that's not really the issue. I mean, the fact that he can't sleep in the bathroom, I mean, maybe he can sleep in the back room on top of the cooler. I mean, if you want to sleep, you're going to sleep. The question is, can you control this? Is this something that you, as the owner of this establishment?
I'm controlling my business. I have surveillance system. I'm calling on my employee almost whenever I see them. I don't see them on the camera. I have 24 camera in the store. 900 square feet, I have 24 camera. I'm logged in on my camera constantly, even while I'm eating. I look at the store. At the time he was, I didn't see him in the store. I called the store, he didn't answer. I thought maybe he cleaned outside few minutes. I didn't see him. I came after the police officer left the store for 5 minutes. I came from 30 minutes, 20 minutes away, 25 minutes from my home to check on him. Immediately, after 5 minutes, the officer just left. It's not like completely loose. He always watching. I watch him all the time. He can speak about himself, what happened, and then I will comment on that.
Excuse me, for the viewing audience, may we have Lieutenant Randall read the police report he has there?
Okay, I have a log entry that we received a call from a customer in the D&L Discount Liquors on March 10th. He states that he was in the store, there are no employees present, that the store is empty. He stated he had been there for 10 minutes. We dispatched an officer there. The officer, upon arrival at the store, could locate no employee in the store. He said the customer told him by that time it had been approximately 20 minutes that he had been there. He said other customers had come in, taken items, and left money on the counter and just walked out. The officer did a cursory search of the premises, and he was able to locate an employee who was asleep in the restroom. And that's it.
Fine. I find no excuse. I can't,
Excuse me, the point, can he speak about what happened? Because I'm not in his brain, I'm not a doctor, I don't know what happened to him.
was he there?
Yeah, that's here, that's right here.
That's him.
That's
You were
him.
Employee?
That's his employee, but he's suspended. He's not employee anymore until we get to the bottom of that. He can talk about what happened. I have no clue what happened. I'm 20 years
If
in
it's brief,
business.
I'd like to hear
It's
it.
my first time to be something like that.
2 minutes or less.
I've been working here for a month. I've been doing back-to-back open and closes. I am a young father, so I had my daughter closed the night before. I live all the way in Lynn, and I had to open the store early in the morning, 9 a.m., which getting the bus, taking public transportation is usually a 2-hour commute. I usually don't get home till almost 1 in the morning, so lack of sleep. So I was tired doing a 7-8 hour shift. I did use the bathroom, but when I did sit down, I had closed my eyes for a brief minute and I had passed out. But it was a mistake on my part. I didn't get enough sleep.
So you went to the bathroom just to sleep, or you just passed out unconsciously?
I had used the bathroom. I had taken.
Okay.
I had gotten.
Take a break.
Yeah, I'd taken the seat for maybe like 2 minutes.
So when someone, as a procedure, this is for the owner, as a procedure, when someone has to use the bathroom, if they have an issue, is there a procedure of maybe going up, let's lock the door while I go to the bathroom, and then once I'm done, I can open, is that a procedure in place now, or is that something just common sense?
First of all, I have alarm on the door, very loud. Even the neighbor used to complain about it. The neighbor across the street used to complain about the alarm. As soon as someone opened, it's a huge alarm. If he going to the bathroom, for sure, he has a key for the store. It's not he doesn't have access. He has access for the key. He can lock the key, few minutes, use the bathroom, and get out. It's not like he's in the store without any key or for sure.
But is that the procedure?
It is a procedure. If he has to use the bathroom, for sure, he can lock the store 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes.
So you're aware of you could have done that?
I was not aware.
You were not aware? So
He's new employee.
okay, so he wasn't trained properly, from my understanding. If he was, he would have known to lock the door, then use the bathroom, because that's common sense.
Obviously, it's common sense.
People can come in real quick.
He has a key for the store. He has a key for the store.
Yeah, but he didn't know that. He was not told that he should do that if he has to use the bathroom. That's not part of the operating procedures, is my understanding. That's not a written operating procedure. If you use the bathroom, or if you have to go out and leave for 5 minutes, whatever, you should have a procedure saying you need, and if it's on paper and he didn't follow it, shame on him, but if it's not a process or a written policy, then it's more on you.
Yeah,
Because
but the point is, if he didn't pass out, he has alarm. The store is 900 square feet. He can hear the alarm, even if
no,
it's...
that's not the point. The point is, there was not a procedure in place that automatically, as you use the bathroom, you need to lock the door, because you can be in that bathroom a minute, 30 seconds, or 5 minutes. You need to lock the door, because it doesn't take quick for a thief to come in and take liquor or take money. So without a procedure, I think the onus is on you in this one, even though he made the error, common sense error, but you should still have a procedure.
The bathroom is 5 feet.
I understand.
5
You don't
feet
understand.
from the counter. And that's okay, I understand, sir. But the point is, I'm 20 years in the business. That's my first time.
So if you're 20 years in the business, we have four minor violations since 2006. We have employees selling heroin, cocaine, and now we have this. So 20 years in the business, that's 6 pretty serious violations. I wouldn't be too proud of that, number one. And I would come up with a little better defense in front of us. You know, it always seems to be someone else. It always does. It seems to be like one excuse after another. It gets a little old. So I think, you're still shaking your head. You're near schools. There's 2 schools. There's the high school, and then there's the elementary. You know, as you can see, this is going on 2.5 hours we've been here. So we're getting a little agitated. So it's frustrating, because it's the same offenders. You know, there's other liquor stores that are your size that don't have this happen.
I'm aware about the
I'm
school.
going to hand it over to my
I'm
colleagues.
aware my policy about school is I tell any new employee, even myself for 20 years, as soon as high school is behind the store, as soon as a young fellow come to the store, I tell my employees, stop serving the regular customer and get him out. If he take a look around the liquor, don't serve him and let him out of the store. That's policy, and he's aware about that, and everyone knows about that.
Excuse me, you said that, what time did you go to work that morning? 9 o'clock, you said?
Yeah, I had arrived there at 8:55.
How many hours did you work? You said you were closing.
Yeah, I worked 6 hours,
Well, what time does the store close?
11 at night.
So you went in 9 to 11?
No, so it opens the night before, it closes at 11. It closes at 11, so, and then reopens the next day on weekdays at 9 a.m.
He mean he has shift?
What was your shift? What was your shift?
Oh, that day?
Yeah.
It was 9 a.m. to 4.
Oh, just still 7 hours. That was his shift, 7 hours.
Okay.
But he had all closed.
I was
the night
confused.
before, in a 2-hour bus ride, right? Is that what happened? You closed the night before?
Yeah, and I usually don't arrive home until almost 1 in the morning.
2 hours.
Takes you an hour, hour and a half, get home late, now you gotta be in early at 9 o'clock, so you get up early and you take a bus to Revere again to open the place. Is that what the situation was?
Yeah, I actually did not sleep that night.
Yeah, I can't put that one on the owner. That's up to the employee to get his rest and say, I can't come in if you're that tired. It more has to, in my opinion, having procedures in place, written procedures, so you can always go back to him and say, he had them, he signed off on them, he's trained. And the procedure to lock the door if you have to leave the front area, it doesn't seem like that was written up. And I think that was that should be done in the future, at least.
We will, but
Okay.
it's small business, it's family business. And a year ago, I have two, my son used to help me in the store. They have full-time job now, and they are not anymore. Me and my wife and 2 kids and another 2 employees, we manage the store. Right now, I depend completely, me and my wife and some of the employees, because my kids, I take them out of the payroll and they don't do anything in the store anymore. I try to do my best. I'm aware about that. I will just try to avoid any issue in the future.
Well, Commissioner LaCroix brings up a good point. When someone is at the counter and they leave the counter to go into the other room, even if it's only for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you're still exposing the area of your store. Anybody can walk in and grab anything. So, I mean, I think that what you need to do, and I don't want to tell you how to run your business, but there ought to be procedures in place so that when someone leaves the counter for any reason to go in the other room, where you only have 1 employee, I think you need to lock that front door.
We will address this issue in the future, but I wasn't aware that he doesn't know this issue. That's the reason he has a key for the store.
Well, with only 1 employee, you have to figure that if he's going to do a 7-hour shift, he's going to have to go to the bathroom at some point.
I am not objecting
He's going to have
that.
to leave the counter at some point. And when he leaves the counter, your store is exposed. And as the commissioner said, there are many schools there. A lot of kids can just walk in, grab a bottle, and take off.
I'm aware about that. We try to do our best. Like I told you, any kids come to the store, my store, I stop serving the regular customer to get the kids out of the store. It's not a policy.
But that's if you're there. Well,
So let's-
moving forward.
And I train my
Moving
employee.
forward, sir.
I train my employee.
Who have you got working there now?
I have the gentleman, which is he's suspended right now. I have my wife.
You suspended him, so you're taking him back.
I'm taking me and my wife until we figure out what to do, what's the issue about him.
Who's working there now?
I have someone, his name is Chris, and me and my wife, and this gentleman which is suspended.
When you say suspended means he's out for,
Since this incident, I have no clue what happened. I just ask him, give me my key back, and you stay out of my business until we figure out what is the issue. I don't know if it's medical, why he passed out.
so
why-
who are you going to have? Well, that was his issue, but I'm more concerned with the owner of the liquor license. He's an employee, he does the best he can, things happen. I'm not going to fault him at all. But you, who are you hiring now to run your business?
Like I told you, me and my wife, and have another employee. That's for now, until we hire more employee.
It just seems like you seem to always have a problem at that business.
No,
I don't understand it.
I'm running 20 years, not.
You just had a suspension, sir, for 3 days.
I know, but
Right.
he was new employee under probation.
I'm not going to blame the employees. It definitely is your responsibility.
I didn't
It's
say
your
it's not.
license.
It's my responsibility. I deny that. But I try to do my best, get people to work. Someone new people, I don't know what's behind here. I have his application, he has no criminal record, he has no issue, and I check on him, and I try to do the best I can. Something happened, accident or wrong employee, for sure we correct it. It doesn't mean I have to control the person minute by minute.
All right, so Chairman,
I have his application here, and I background check on him. I did background check on him.
So
Well, I understand, sir, and I'm still not blaming your employees. You do what you have to do. I have to know that the business is safe. This is like, out of all of the package stores we have, this is the first time that no one was working and anybody could walk in and get one. I'm
It's-
surprised they left the money for you.
For me, honestly, it's my first time for 20 years.
Yeah, it's first time for me.
When I saw on the video, I have on my iPhone, can I show you? I have it on the iPhone, minute by minute, I check on my business. It's right here. Can I show it to you? It's not like out of nowhere. It's right
No,
here.
I know, I've seen them.
Minute by minute, I
We
check
have
on my
that
business.
also, right. But, you know, you're talking a good, as Lieutenant Randall said, you're talking a good 20 minutes that, you know, by the police got there and everything. It was
If
quite a
he-
while.
If he pass out, he doesn't recognize the time. If he pass out, but if he wise enough, he will close the door if he has to use the bathroom. The bathroom is 2 by 2. Nobody will plan to, I'll show you the bathroom. It's 2 by 2. Nobody will go and plan to sleep
No,
in
I
the
don't think the
bathroom.
size of the bathroom is that important right now. I just think that showers, bathrooms, today's been quite the day. I don't think I would fit in one of those showers.
I mean, I give you credit for being there 20 years, but I'd get rid of the place.
Look,
But
I think we can agree that everybody makes mistakes. The gentleman seems to be an upright individual. He came in here, took responsibility for what happened. I think, to be honest, as my fellow commissioner said here, the responsibility does fall upon you, sir, as the licensed holder, to make sure that this kind of thing doesn't happen. I mean, I understand that, you know, running a business is not an easy thing. I know you have another operation, or maybe a couple, I don't know what your situation is, but you need to really focus on this location, because as Commissioner LaCroix pointed out, you have had a series of issues here. I mean, I don't think we've ever run a test where you've actually checked a license. So,
I will focus on this location, and
I mean,
me and my wife will put too much hour on the store. I'm here and my wife in the store since 8 o'clock in the morning, and she log in, I show it to her. She's sitting in the business since 8 o'clock in the morning. What can I do more than that? She is in the store. Can I log in, I
that's
show
fine.
her?
I
My wife's
understand.
sitting in the store, 9 to
That's fine.
7, 8 o'clock. 12
get that.
hours,
I get
what
that.
can I do?
now look,
But that's a
here-
business you chose.
I do, I try my best.
all right,
But
so
nobody
here's what
can
we're gonna-
run.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this, at least we're gonna make a motion here, at least I'm gonna make a motion to put this on file for a year, okay?
Okay.
And we're gonna let it slide this time, okay?
Thank you for that.
But the bathroom procedure needs to be addressed. When people leave the counter, you need to lock the door, all right? I mean, it's just that simple. You can't have people not on the selling floor and have the door open on a liquor store. It doesn't work.
He exposed my store to danger.
Right, I mean, you should know, I mean, you know.
My store to danger. Who put his business on danger?
All right, so my motion is that we file this for a year and that the license holder is going to implement a bathroom procedure which will lock the door when the selling floor is not occupied. Is that?
I'll make it, I'll amend that motion also. That, placing it on file, should there be another incident within the year, that this will also come back up again, and sanctions, we would look at sanctions. So that's for 1 year that you don't have any more problems.
Even if you have no control over it, I mean, we're talking no problems. I mean, so you're going to cross your fingers.
Me and my wife will open and close.
And
That's
just-
it.
And I'm going to second that motion with the amendment. And in a third motion I want to make is, we need you to listen more and talk less, because we're just trying to help you. And the more you talk, the more it doesn't help you, because it shows us that you're in denial a lot. No, and again, just talking again. Let us speak. We're going to just put this on the back burner for a year, make sure the procedures are in place, and we have the right, if something were to happen, to pull back hours, do whatever sanctions are necessary moving forward. So I'm going to second that motion, if that's a valid motion now.
Yes, so, sir, do you understand what we're voting on? We're voting on the fact that we're gonna file this for a year, that you are going to implement the bathroom procedure so that when employees go to the bathroom, they have to lock the door, okay?
Okay.
And also that if there is a violation within that next year, this particular issue was gonna come back up again, okay?
I understand.
Very good. So that's the motion, and it was seconded, so that's the motion that will be approved.
Did you?
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. We have communications. A notification from the Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission of its approval of the application for GA Restaurant 2, Inc., DBA Santorini, for a change of license category to all alcohol. Notification from the Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission of its approval of the application of the Joseph Leon Matolo Post, 4524 VFW US Inc., for an alteration of premises. A late communication, for a return of no action from the Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission on its application of Domino's Restaurant, Inc., for a new all-alcohol general on-premises license. For license renewals, common victualer's license, Bagel Bin Inc., 207 Shirley Avenue, The Good Diner, LLC, 361 Broadway. Entertainment license renewal, Bagel Bin Inc., 207 Shirley Avenue, The Good Diner, LLC, 361 Broadway. And the license renewal for the Revere Lodge Loyal Order of Moose, 1272 470 Broadway. That all-alcohol club license will be renewed for 30 days, at which point they're going to come back in and hopefully have addressed the issues that were outstanding. Is there any other business? The issue regarding the Beachmont Yacht Club, are we going to address that issue? Do you want to bring them in for next time, or?
I don't know where that is at. I understand it may be a legal issue. Is it something that we have to get involved in?
I don't think it's a legal issue. I think it's more, he wants to make us aware of what happened, and in case it happens again. That's my understanding. But I'd be more than happy if he wants to come in and we can hear it. If he has nothing else to do, we'll be here. That's up to you guys.
Okay, well, I mean, I would move to bring them in, and let's have a hearing on this thing. There's been a lot of stuff going around about it, and so let's get it all out there and address it. So I would ask that we send them a letter to bring them in for our next hearing. Very good. And so with no other business, I would make a motion to adjourn until April 17th, at which point we'll have another Revere License Commission meeting. Do I have a second on that motion?
I'll second the motion.
The meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Ooh, that might have almost broke the record.
You people not
operating procedures, yeah.